Let's talk about an annual report. Any company in the United States that's publicly traded is regulated by what's called the Securities and Exchange Commission. And therefore, it has an obligation, a legal obligation, to report every quarter a certain set of financial disclosures in a very prescriptive structure. This is often called the 10K if you look at the annual report. And on a quarterly basis, it's referred to as the 10Q. These are just the government numbers for these statements. Often people refer to the 10K and the annual report as the same thing. They're actually slightly different. The 10K, often referred to as the annual report, is a little different because the 10K is the actual document submitted to the government. It's a government submission, and it's very prescriptive. It has specific items, every single company has the exact same table of contents of what they have to disclose. An annual report is sometimes, I'd say maybe 60 or 70% of companies will choose to do an annual report that is a bit more of a marketing document. So they'll have a letter to shareholder. This is not a legal requirement. It'll be glossy, it'll be pretty. It'll be an opportunity for the CEO to connect with the shareholders, typically a 1 or 2 page document. Often there's maybe 5 or 10 pages of marketing material, kind of how they've had an impact on society, key launches of new products, whatever it may be. And then after about 10 or 15 pages, all of a sudden you'll see the 10K behind it. And that is kind of how they build an annual report, is they'll take the 10K and they'll put some marketing material on top of it. Again, most people when they say annual report 10K, they're kind of referring to both, but there is a distinction between the two. The greatest source document for information on a public company is the 10K, the annual report. So it's valuable to understand the structure of it. It's valuable to understand how to quickly use it as a resource. It's probably not valuable to read the whole thing. I have clients that have 250-page annual reports. You're not going to read it, and most of it is not necessary. But if you understand how it was written and for whom it was written, keep in mind when you read the annual report, it's a legal obligation, but it's also a document where the company can present itself to the shareholders, present itself to the owners of the company, the stock owners. And it allows them to present the company from that perspective. Let me kind of walk you through how it's structured in a way that you can find the key information in a very quick way. First of all, download and find the 10K of the company you're interested in, whether it's your own company or another company. Typically, you can type the company name and investor relations and do a search on that, and you'll find what's called investor relations component of their website, and it's usually in there under SEC documents or financial reports. When you download that document, typically in a PDF format, you now have the entire document. So what pieces do you want to be familiar with? What do you want to use, and where's the value in it? Here's how I typically do it. If you're familiar with the company, you may not need to understand an overview of their business, but if you're trying to be familiar with the company, item 1 is always what's called a business overview. A business overview is the company's representation of themselves in 3 or 4 paragraphs. What do we do? How are we structured? And what are our products and services in a very succinct way? I find even companies that I'm familiar with, when I go to their 10K, I learn how they're structured. Organizationally, are they 3 divisions? Are they geographic regions? Are they built around particular product sets? That's usually in a business overview, item 1. The next item that is particularly valuable, I find, is item 7. This is MD&A, they refer to as Management Discussion and Analysis. This is where very clearly they'll give an explanation of the financial report. So for example, let's say revenue of a company went down by 5%. You're not really sure why. If you go to MD&A, it'll literally say, 2022 revenue declined by 5% as a result of decline in COVID-related distribution, whatever. They'll have a very quick and succinct explanation. Want to know why SG&A went up? Go look and there'll be a little section that says SG&A. SG&A increased this year due to increased payouts in healthcare, or a lawsuit related to whatever it may be. Very quick and easy explanations of the dynamics of what's happening in the financial statement. You look at the financial statement, you observe changes, but you don't know the why. MD&A, item 7, gives you very clearly the why. Finally, the third one is really the foundation of the entire document, is item 8, and this is the financial statements. There are 3 core financial statements that we talk about. And we focus on the income statement, which is your profit statement, the balance sheet, which is reflective of the assets and liabilities of the organization at a point in time, and the cash flow statement, the cash in, how it was received, how much was received, and how it was spent during this period of time. Now, those three documents are really high-level documents. Behind every line, there are pages of disclosure behind it. There might literally be 3 pages explaining a simple line on the income statement. We have a tool called the Executive Alignment Tool. This tool is designed specifically for you to understand, say, take a letter to shareholder. How do you capture the key points? How do you understand what the CEO, how you can align with the key objectives that are being communicated through that letter, and how you can make better decisions as a business, as an employee of the company, or as a business leader in the company. And if you'd like to learn more about what we do as a company, how we develop these skills and understanding for employees, reach out to us at acumenlearning.com.